Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me wherever you are joining me. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, make sure that you like, make sure that you subscribe. I appreciate all of the support. I appreciate all of the love. But man, society out here on this social media world is crazy. I think it's interesting the way in which the world works in the social media space. Now, I was trying to figure out how to phrase this in a manner that wouldn't be offensive or wouldn't hit people the wrong way. And I realized it doesn't really matter what I say. This digital social media world is broken down into three categories. It's broken down into victims, it's broken down into panderers, and then people who just shut the hell up because they don't know what to say and they don't want to be caught up in the wash. So we've got victims, we've got panderers, and then we got people who just abstain. We don't have anyone out here voicing the opinion where they understand both sides, or at least they try to understand both sides. Hell, we don't even have people who have the decency enough to go and look at the source material before they make their decision or their determination on how to feel. They just go off clips. Cam Newton was on $1 million worth of game, which, by the way, if you don't watch the podcast, you should. They do a lot of they have some conversations, some really good conversations with a lot of influential people. And whether you guys like it or not, Cam Newton is influential. Cam Newton is his own man. And he's not looking for validation from any of you. He's not looking for validation from men. He's not looking for validation from women. He's not looking for validation from old heads. He's not looking for validation from the young dudes. He is his own man. So he went on $1 million worth of game and he said a few things. He had a clip where he talked about men needing to start acting like men again. Took a direct shot at men, a direct shot at the way in which we conduct ourselves, right? And $1 million worth of game made sure that clip got out, or at least people who follow $1 million worth of game and they want activity on their feed, they made sure that clip was out so that people could see that clip of him talking about men needing to act like men again. That clip came out on April 8th. And from April 8th till now, that clip has about 148,000 views. Didn't hear any real backlash. Nobody came for his neck. There were a couple of comments, because there are always a couple of comments. We just said it's impossible to avoid, but nothing crazy. Then Cam Newton had another clip released, and this one was released yesterday, where he talked about how women for him need to be able to do certain things that he feels that women in his world are not doing. And that clip where he said, women need to be able to know how to handle their business, but also know how to cater to a man's needs. That clip got 1.6 million views in less than 24 hours. So in less than 24 hours, that clip, why does that look like that? In less than 24 hours, that clip received 1.6 million views. And it came with every single person all of a sudden deciding that they wanted to be a victim. All of these women coming out to say, oh my gosh, this is disgusting. Oh my gosh, Cam Newton, misogyny, blah, 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 blah. Off of a clip, by the way. They made this decision off of a clip that is 1 minute and 20 seconds long. I know that they didn't go back and watch the entire thing. You want to know how I know? Because with the amount of views, right? With the amount of views that the clip has and the entirety of the podcast, which I believe is over an hour, it would take them longer than the 18 hours since this thing dropped in order for everybody to be consuming it, pop back on, and then give comments. The comments were being made almost immediately after the clip dropped. And it just stacked on and stacked on, right? Because people didn't just voice their displeasure with what Cam Newton said. They then turned the tables on Cam Newton. Well, if you don't know how to cook, then that's on you. Like if you're a grown man and you don't know how to cook, then that's on you. Well, what does him having to be able to cook have to do with the fact that he's looking for a woman who knows how to cook? Oh, well, he doesn't want any of but people don't even try to understand what someone is saying. If they don't like the initial thought process behind what that person is saying, then he's dead. If they don't like the initial thing behind what was said, then she's gone. That's how it works now on social media. I pride myself on not just looking to cancel or looking to dismiss someone based off a clip. A few days ago, when Adam Schefter wrote what he wrote about Dwayne Haskins, my first initial thought was to go and look to see if there was something else. Like if I had missed something, if there was a reason why he chose on this day where this man lost his life, why he chose to accentuate the negatives in his life. I didn't find anything. It was at that point that I responded. That is how I kick my game. That is how a journalist is supposed to do these things. Yes, we as individuals, as people who have our own opinions, we should respond to things that we don't like. But the journalist in me doesn't just allow me to make a quick response without digging deeper to know that I'm actually responding to something in the right way. Those clips, that clip with Cam Newton talking about men needing to be men again, and that clip about Cam Newton talking about women needing to know their place, essentially, those clips were fashioned because people knew that those clips would get responses. The men clip didn't work the way that they wanted it to work. It only got 140,000 views. So what do? Drop the women's clip. Because these clips are supposed to bring you to the pod to listen to the pod. They're supposed to bring you in. You think the people at $1 million worth of game give a damn about Cam Newton and how, you know, this clip being framed this way is going to make Cam Newton look? No, they just want views. Views equal money. We don't have to always play victim in situations where nobody has victimized us. There was an awesome quote by somebody on Twitter about the subject, and I want to find it because I think it was said perfectly. And it was by J Tuck 51. I want to make sure I give him credit for his tweet. He said, Cam Newton basically said he prefers an Aisha Curry or Savannah James over a Brittany Renner, and all y'all heard was cooking. See, and here's the problem with what we deal with in society, right? Yes, Cam Newton's a public figure. Yes, Cam Newton is popular. When you listen to Cam Newton talk, you can tell that Cam Newton doesn't always articulate his point in the easiest to understand manner, for whatever reason that might be. But if you sit down and you actually digest what he's trying to say, you can tell that Cam Newton has no malice in his heart. This man has never gone out of his way to treat people bad. He's never gone out of his way to treat women bad in public. He was getting backlash because he didn't marry the mother of his kids by a bunch of people who are not married with kids. He has never stopped taking care of his family. He does hella amounts of philanthropic work. He's put people on. He's boosted people up. And all the time he's done this, he has received nothing but negative backlash from the moment he stepped into the public eye. When he went to Auburn, first thing people wanted to say was, oh, Auburn cheated to get him. They paid him. They paid his dad money or whatever it had to be. It was all negative against him. When he was in the draft, oh, he's going to be a bust. Let's take Jake Locker or Blaine Gabbert over him. He gets into the league. Oh, well, he's not a good passer. He passes for damn near 5,000 yards. Over 4,000 yards his rookie season. Oh, that was just luck. They weren't in games. Those were inflated stats. This was back in a time where running backs still mattered, and they were running the ball much more, and he was running the ball much more. He still threw for over 4,000 yards, and they found a way to discredit him. In his MVP season, with no weapons outside to throw to, no first-round draft picks on the offensive line outside of maybe one person who was playing center at the time, I believe. With no elite-level running backs, he drug a team all the way to the championship game. has a bad game in the championship game versus one of the best defenses ever, and he is still murdered. People constantly talk about the way he dresses. People constantly talk about the way he talks. Constantly talk about the way in which he writes stuff down. He is the fodder of jokes and ridicule, one after another, and he just takes it. But he gives a critique on something that he doesn't like, and now he's the worst human being in the world. Now he's the worst human being in the world. All of a sudden now everybody wants to be, run to the aid of women. What did he do to women? What did he do to you? It was disgusting. What did he say that was disgusting? I've watched the clip. I've gone back and listened to the pod. What he said, in my opinion, what he said about women may have been shaped wrong, but he didn't say anything awful. He gave his opinion. And I think what's interesting enough, most times, if he didn't say it, it's stuff, the things that he said, they're all things that I've heard other women say about other women. But he can't say it. The only people who can criticize are the people within that group. So is the reason why there wasn't backlash about him saying that men need to start acting like men again is because he's a man? See, this is how I know that all of the negative words and connotations that are said about women were not created by men. Number one, we're not creative enough. We don't do those things. That's not our world. Number two, look at all of the words that are used to talk poorly about women. All of those words have a feminine connotation to them. And men don't think in feminine connotations. We think in masculine connotations. So all of the terms that you hear derogatory about women, they are created by women. All of the disses that you hear about women are created by women, and then they might be parroted by a man. But there is nothing Cam Newton said in that 1 minute and 20-second clip, and there's nothing that he said about women in the entire podcast that none of you listened to that hasn't been said about women by other women. On this platform, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, we see women killing other women about being Instagram models. We see women slaughtering other women about being bosses. I don't need to use the other word because that's not my world. I don't get down like that. I appreciate everybody's hustle. I don't want no smoke over what I might think about somebody individually. I just want to know why everything has to be victimization. If we ridicule, if there's ridicule, or if there's criticism of young people, then all of a sudden we're attacking the young people. Why can't we just be critical? Why can't we just be critical? If there is something negative that has to be said, or something critical that has to be said about Black people, and it's true, I'm not going to be mad. I'm going to say, yo, that's true. I'm not going to say, where do you get off thinking like that? I can't believe you would say that. If it's true, it's true. I didn't hear anything that he said that was disrespectful. He didn't tell women to get back in the kitchen. He said, how can you talk like that when you can't even cook? He, as a man, wants a woman who knows how to cater to the needs of a man. Why is that wrong? If he believes that, and by the way, what woman doesn't want a man who knows how to cater to the needs of a woman? Everything that we do is to try to figure out how to make women happy. So why wouldn't we not want that in exchange? He doesn't articulate it well. He never does. He shoots from the hip. His word choice isn't always right. But there's nothing he said that's just not true about human nature. Everybody wants to be appreciated. Everybody wants to be catered to. Why are we acting as if somehow he did something egregious? All he did was voice his opinion. That's it. He voiced an opinion. You don't have to agree with the opinion, but you also don't have to act as if he did the worst thing in the world. We don't have to play victim on everything. And if it doesn't have anything to do with us, we don't have to pander to the side of the victim. And you know what else we don't have to do? We don't have to sit it out just because we're afraid of what might come. I love women. I love y'all. I champion you at every turn. I don't think there's anything that a man does that a woman can't do. I truly believe that. I don't understand why we have to defend or slant opinions on sides when we don't necessarily agree with it. Again, I didn't hear anything Cam Newton said that was awful. I did, however, see some of the responses to Cam Newton that I thought were really off base. And if we are afraid to be criticized, right? If we're afraid to take criticism, because Cam Newton, if people want to come at Cam and say, hey, Cam, you know what you said? It probably was a better way to say it. That's criticism. That could help him be better, help him articulate his view better. But we don't even spend the time to try to figure out what his view was. We're just on to the killing of the person. Let's kill him. When did we become like this? Why does it have to be this way? Is this what engagement is now? I say something you don't like, you respond with something that I'm not going to like, and everything becomes an argument where people have to choose sides? Is that how we have to get engagement now? Is that how we have to go about this thing? Because if it is, count me out. I like a good argument like anyone else. I like a good debate. But I don't want manufactured beef. I don't want beef that isn't real. Because I know that some of the people, when they act as if they're victims, they don't really feel victimized. They know that that's engagement. I know when I can read and tell when someone has a thought process that's them really just stating what they believe and trying to add some clarity to what was said versus them just pandering to a side. I can tell it. Why, you might ask? Because I was educated to do so. This is the world that we're going to live in. I mean, I'm going to be on the fringes of it. Simple and plain. Because it doesn't make any sense to me that that's how we have to, literally less than 24 hours later, one clip where he talks bad about, or he didn't talk bad, but when he says something that women don't like, 1 point something million views, and all of the comments about how he's an awful human being. 4 days ago, clip about men and what men need to do, crickets. You be the judge. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. We do this thing a few times a week. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, you know what to do. Like, subscribe. If you're joining me on Facebook, you know what to do as well. Make sure you follow the page. Until next time, peace.